Hey guys, I'm starting a new series on Astangata or combustion. We're going to start with Saturn first. A little bit about Astangata. Astangata means when a graha is obscured, actually, concealed and obscured by the sun. Say, for example, if this is Saturn and this is the sun, and when the sun has the latitude coming closer and closer and closer, eventually it conceals it, right? And that obstruction is called Astangata. That's one meaning of Astangata. But Astangata in its literally means combustion, which means to radiate all that heat onto a graha and diminishes its power. Right? That's what it means. So there's two meanings here. One is when it gets obscured, right? Because the sun is in front of the graha, it gets obscured there. And the other meaning is the radiation of the sun diminishes the power, the heat from the sun, because it's so close, and the heat will diminish the power of the graha. Now, there are a lot of technicalities involved here. If you're really interested, there are two things I would recommend. Number one is you can check Surya Sitanda. Surya Sitanda is an old astronomical treatise. Refer chapter 9 if I'm not mistaken. You'll have good references on the degrees of the longitude for different grahas. And of course, modern astronomy, you can search for heliacal setting. Okay, heliacal setting gives you good visuals. There's many things. I'm sure there's many things on YouTube. I haven't checked, but you can always check that. It's called heliacal setting, and it shows how the grahas are obscured by the sun. So Parashara says that if a graha is concealed or obscured or combust, and then it becomes Arka and Krura. Arka means devilish personality, right? Krura means cruel. Get it? It's from the English word cruel. It means Krura means very terrible, devilish, demonic personality. Someone who is like you can think of someone who is really evil. That's what it is. So the sun will become Arka and Krura when it's in this situation. So that's a little bit about Astangata. There's a lot of things. If you want, you can Google that out. So now what happens when this Saturn is in that combustion state? Saturn is in Astangata, right? There are the five things I've noticed over the years. Number one is that these people would not have an acceptance in their problem, which means any problem that comes, they will just go with the flow, and as long as there's a little bit of reward, that makes them, moving in that same direction. Let me give you an example. Say if you don't like your job, okay, you have a lousy boss, a terrible environment, they don't recognize you for whatever that you do, for example. So, but you still go to your work, but every time you come back, you talk about your problems to your spouse or to your friends and say how bad it is, how you despise your colleagues and teammates. But then, you keep working there for years and years and years, right? So you have a problem, but you're not willing to change. And why? Because every now and then your manager comes and gives you, or your superior comes and gives you every now and then some small incentive, some reward, some words of recognition. And then you're happy, right? And so this trend of, becoming sad and depressed and despising and hating your job, and also becoming a little bit happy when you have that small incentive of appreciation, that is something that you will go on and on. You will dwell in that non-accepting environment, right? But the moment you accept, then you will lose everything. You will change your job, that is for sure. Until then, you will be comfortable in that small tiny little bit of reward. Now I can tell you one thing, this will end up for sure, I'm saying with utmost conviction based on my experience for the past 20 years now, that people who have this non-acceptance personality will end up having anxiety problems, anxiety disorder, maybe even depression, because you are actually having an 80% bad time and a 20% good time. And imagine if this is prolonged, right? So number two is that these people are imitators, great imitators of life. They'll see someone doing, and they'll just pick that up. They don't have anything genuine within themselves. There's nothing seminal or something which is profound within their thought processes. They'll just find, okay, this guy is driving that big car, let me see what he does. Okay, he does this job, okay, let me just do that kind of job. That's this imitating personality, right? And end of the day, they will have one thing for sure, which is regret, right? Because you're not being yourself, you're not exploring your talents, your skills, right? Your proficiencies, yeah, your potentials. You're not identifying, you're not exploring. So eventually you will be regret. Then it'll be too late. Then you'll be thinking, I should have thought about this in a different way rather than imitating someone. There are also these people who will easily convincible. Okay, you just tell them a little bit about something here and there, they'll easily fall for it. Right, these people. That's the second one. The third one is that these people, they know that they should not be spending when it comes to money, right? They know, okay, that money is for me to pay that bill or to do that important thing or to put it into savings, but they will still use it and spend it. Their desires outweighs their responsibilities, right? That is something I've seen also. The fourth thing is these people will not have a steady career in life, all right? Because they sort of steady both career of their self-employed doing business, it will not grow actually, because they are limited understanding over things, or they don't have this capacity to fulfill or to complete anything. Success, guys, is like when you start something. Say if you start to read a book, for example, you must finish it, right? It's okay to be slow, but it's not okay when you stop. It's okay if it takes like 3 months for you to complete the book. It doesn't matter, no problem. But you do it eventually, right? You must complete it. And that is a sort of a vitamin for your brain. Your brain says, okay, whatever that you start, you complete. That's something that comes in a habitual process. And eventually, whatever that you do, you will fulfill it, regardless of the difficulties that comes in. But for these people, they do not complete it. They'll just do it halfway and that's it. So when it comes to job and all that, they will not sustain in a position for a long time because they are not in the position because they don't complete things. And so they keep moving into smaller departments and smaller departments. They'll get lower and lower in the rank. In business, they'll start to drop. Their customers or clients will not come to them because they are not able to deliver what they promise, because they don't have this thought of fulfilling things, completing things. They're always procrastinating. I have another 1 week to do. Let me just do this tomorrow, and so on and so forth. All right, that's another thing. That's the fourth. And the last, but certainly not the least, is that they will help and solve another person's problem and not theirs. Now, it is good. It is, of course, it's a noble thing. It is dharma to help another person. Yes. However, you must solve your own problem first, right? For them, other problems, what's going on in the neighbor, what's going on in their uncle, what's going on in their friend's house is more important than theirs, and they will interfere and go into that situations and see how they can offer their help. Sometimes it's annoying, right? Sometimes it's truly annoying. Sometimes the help is not even asked, but they will be there to offer their assistance, and they forget that they need help in the first place. Right? So these are the 5 things that I've seen over the years when having a Saturn in Astangata. I'll be continuing the series in a staggered fashion. I'll be doing the Moon in the Amazing series along with this as well. All right. So so thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.